We kick off another best of 5 here, and a best of 5 final PvZ coming up after this. As we do have to the top right, our red Zerg player from Psystorm Gaming. It is True. And to the bottom left hand side, our blue Zerg is Bly. Right, so first game of the series, we get this set and ready to go. Game number 1 of our best of 5 here. True and Bly, obviously two players who we see in a lot of online cups, honestly. True has been playing a lot more as well, especially when he's in America. He plays a lot of these. True gave us some really entertaining games yesterday, and Bly did end up taking him down 2-0 in his series against him. So a lot of muteless were involved. It was some very weird games. We saw a little bit of a game on Redshift, which was very strange. Let's see who will take this right now as we get ready to go into game 1. It's a 13-12 to open up with here from True. The first game of this best of 5. So again, this setup, we're going to be seeing Ling Speed starting in just a few moments. And there it is, Ling Speed on the way to get things rolling right now. As we're going to be seeing 8 Zerglings on the way up. Hatch, gas, and a pool here from Bly coming down on the bottom left-hand side of the map. A few Zerglings going to start moving across the map as well. And we do see the bin nest, of course, is on its way too. Right now, Bly doesn't know about this, remember. He does not have the Overlord to see it. He will run into the second Overlord, it seems true. So Bly's going to know about this around about now. And he is going to have to start thinking about just how he's going to defend it. I mean, Bly, 13-12 was his build for so long. He still sometimes does just come out and build 13-12 3, 4, 5 times in a row. So let's see if he can find himself the correct defense against it, as the first Zerglings will arrive and start making their way against this hatchery on the natural. So 6 Zerglings starting to go away at this. A couple of Lings are about to pop out on the natural too. He gets a full surround on the first one. Nicely played by True. It is damage time lost on the hatchery though. As True will actually saw his own hatch behind this, so only going to have about 4 Banelings. He's obviously pulled quite heavily out of gas at this point to be able to afford a hatch as well. Or he just cut some Zergling production, I suppose. He never started up a Queen, as we do see Ling Speed now finishing up. The first couple of Banes coming forward. Spinecrawler burrowing on the low ground. True will immediately dive onto this and start to get some damage done. The Ling's coming in, and the Baneling really needs to try and help out, perhaps. First Spinecrawler goes down without doing much. Second Baneling does get targeted without doing much as well, though. Queen will go down, drones will start to fall, another Queen under fire, but the Spine on the high ground maybe makes True think twice about it. He's actually just going to commit to the surround, and he will get the kill. So, 2 Queens go down, and we are going to be seeing another couple of drones being picked away at right now as well. So, drones being picked off, 8 workers have just been killed here. So 8 workers killed, and these Zerglings are True going to continue down towards the bottom left-hand side. Suddenly True is still down by 5 though. I mean, he actually didn't do quite enough to put himself into an advantage. The difference is there's no Queen at the moment for Bly. True does already have 2 Queens on the way back up, so True will have his 2 Queens here very shortly. Does have the numbers to win this fight against the Ling, but doesn't want to go too far into the mineral line in fear of the drones coming in and surrounding. Will fight a drone though, and that's 1 more drone killed. I mean, every drone you get at the moment here is very important. Drones being built on either side. You can see this drone being picked off as well. So 11 killed. Bly ahead by 2 workers. As we are going to be seeing this Queen is just going to finish up and is going to finally kill those alphas. A few more Lings at the front, but of course you can't really come forwards here because of the Spinecrawler. So far set up in a little bit of a stalemate-y position, as we do see 2 Overlords. It's just popping out here from True as well. Ling's going to try and come on forwards. These feelings of Bly pulling back a little bit as well. Queen on the way up on each side of the map, so Queen getting set and ready. Spinecrawler will come forwards a little bit too, and again, just going to see that Queen and a few Lings trying to move around. These feelings of Bly just slow, no speed still. It's difficult for them to really do much, of course. Now he's going to start setting up the lair, and at this stage Bly, he'll want to go into the lair. He's wanted to, you know, aim beyond what he's already got, and I guess the question becomes, well, what can he actually do with this? Roach speed, +1. Not too sure, as we do see a few of those Zerglings already pulling back here from True. Across towards the upper right-hand side. Third hatchery comes down as well. And we do have these couple of Overlords just spreading themselves out. 2 Queens on the way down to the bottom right side. They're going to go after an Overlord very shortly. We do just see a few more drones also on the way up. Rotron coming through now from True. And it is Blythe, the Rotron, the Evo Chamber, but never be fooled by Blythe. I mean, with this festival there, it really could look to be something along the lines of Mutalisk instead. You know, the Rotron and the Evo Chamber could be a good sell to True. You know, hey, look at me, I'm only just getting my Rotron and Evo Chamber. You're a little bit ahead, bro. But in reality, it's because he went into the lair a bit faster. The Rotron and the Evo Chamber will help him wall off against attacks. It will still, again, sell that idea of roaches. But in reality, it is going to be Mutalisks. And Blythe going to look towards those as a way to come back in this series, or in this first game, I should say. I say come back, because he is just a couple workers behind. Third hatchery coming up. Not sure if it is so much coming back as it is just staying, you know, as his game plan. You know, I wouldn't say he was massively behind post the early, you know, after the early attack. This Queen currently chasing this Overlord forwards and towards the center. As we do see, the Spire is just over halfway done here from Blythe as well. A couple of drones going down into the natural, and the main base too is Zergling getting picked off right now. Another few drones, another Overlord on the way. And this lair from True just continue to come up in the next few moments. More Lings setting up to come in at the front here. Roaches still gathering together as well. Here's a full wolf. Blythe's just being very cautious. Look at the amount of spines he's building. I mean, he saw these roaches coming across. The thing is, True is already just droning massively behind it. You know, not only has he forced spine crawlers, but, you know, he's then made drones. So his economy is going to start looking absolutely crazy. As we're going to be having a few roaches starting to pick away at the Rotron. So Rotron is going to take some damage here, and we are going to be seeing Blythe able to pick his way through this evolution chamber, get on the map. The interesting thing is, though, I mean, if True looks at this and just sees, okay, well, you know, it doesn't really look like you have an upgrade started, right? Like, there's nothing actually upgrading here. If True can identify that, maybe that's his little bit of a tip as to the fact that this is maybe Mutalisks rather than roaches. But how do you see if this is, you know, does he see that? Does he realize that? He added an extra couple of queens, so it kind of feels like he does, but he doesn't start Spore Crawlers yet. Let's see, Spore Queen, the defense for the initial start of this, and he probably try and get in towards Hydralisks. We are going to be seeing True going into Burrow, and with the Burrow, I imagine True's plan is to try and go in towards Burrowed Roaches, perhaps move those around the map a little bit and use them as a way to, you know, distract the Mutalisks and to counterattack through. The other way to look at this is this could be a way for him just to save units. You know, if Mutas come in towards a mineral line, if they don't have an Overseer with them, you burrow yourself the drones, they're going to stay alive. You burrow a Queen as low health, it's going to be, you know, a good way to do it too. The Overlord's obviously going to go down initially from these Mutalisks, as Blythe does find his first damage. What's up, Murky Wonders? Thank you so much for the 10-month resub. Do appreciate coming with the Kappa. Thank you very much for 10 months of love. As we do have Queens gathering over to the right-hand side here. An Overlord or two continue to set up. An Overseer up top as well. Infestation Pit about to finish also. And we are just going to be seeing Queens coming in. We'll get one kill nice and quickly. Really nice from True. Already shutting one of those down. And, well, he is now thinking about the main base, but there is a second Spore about to finish. And, really, not a way for them to do much at all. True still looking as though he's kind of just holding on to the slight edge which he's had for a little while now. Capture Glands on the way up, so True obviously wants to go in towards these Mutalisks in the near future. Mutas come down to the south from Blythe and come along to the right to see what they can get up to. Gonna get Creep Chamber picked up and Overlord as well. We're actually gonna find the Hydralisk Den here off to the side, but the Queens are nearby, so actually Hydralisk Den will for now be okay. And the Queens continue to push forwards aggressively, means that even this extractor is safe. With the transfusions available, there's no way that was truly going to fall there. Picks off a Mutalisk. So another Muta goes down. Roaches continue on up to the top, and we do see 6 Infestors currently on the way out. So 6 Infestors being added on at the moment here. We do have the Groove Spines on its way through as well, and just going to be having this Queen already being picked off. So Queen gets taken down. This Extractor does get picked off as well. Nice fungal growth here, actually, as it hits a lot of those Mutalisks. Very nicely done. Able to just bring those down a little bit and make Bly a little bit more scared about pushing forwards, of course. Now he does for sure know about the infestors. Hydra's on the way up from True, and at this stage, we're kind of... Maybe actually that's why he went Burrow. You know, maybe I was talking about kind of saving us, but maybe it's just simply for the infestors. To be able to keep them underground and safe and then just pop them up when you need them. Bly now going in towards his own tunneling claws and Burrow. And I wonder if that's just a mechanism for him to be able to buy time to set up in towards the lurkers. His own Hydra den coming down, but I can't see him really building Hydras beyond the fact that, you know, lurkers would be a wonderful addition to the army. Five, 6 drones going down already. 7 drones going down. 9 drones going down. Bly just suddenly runs in with a few roaches and finds more damage than he's done all game. I wonder what True's plan is then. I mean, attacking any time around now from True is looking good. He's going to be maxed out. The Lurker Den isn't ready for his opponent. You know, it's that sort of timing where it would be a good opportunity perhaps for True to push. But does True know that? Is True able to pick up on all of these things while in the game, while playing? He actually just killed off True a whole bunch of workers. His own attacks have been fairly successful here in recent moments. So his own Sunken Claw of Roaches getting some damage done. He is now going to use this as a way to start pushing down to the bottom left-hand side. 176 to 126 army supply. Sorry, not army supply, but overall supply. Army supply is 40 down here, and honestly it feels as though True has the anti-air to fight those Mutalisks. With this anti-air, he should be completely okay. As you see already, the Hydra's working their way through a couple of Overlords. Overseer as well, a supply block from Bly. Lurker Den is about to finish up very soon, but it's not there just yet. This time the Corrosive Bar's already spent. Fungal Growth on some of these ground units as well. Just a little bit of extra damage will still go a long way. Corrosive Bar's still trying to land, but again, I mean, there's just so much damage output from True, and he's looking good in this game one. Already extracting a little bit of revenge from what it was an 0-2 defeat for him last night against Bly in the group stages. As we are going to be seeing Ravages and the Roach pulling up to the top side here for you units on the 4th base. Yes, True will just turn around and kill this for sure at the moment. Mutas are on their way back over, but again, what do you even snipe down as the Mutas? The Infestors are looking pretty okay. You know, they're mixed in with the Hydras. The Hydra numbers looking good as well. You have the units just go to push in towards the, well, between the natural and the bird. The Infested Terran's going to come up and lead the charge. But more Corrosive Bars dropping down, the Hydra's getting taken down as well. Roach also going down here, another connection. Still pressing in. We do see the Mutas trying to attack from behind, but a Fungal Grove lands. Only one Infestor left over, but it does have energy still, and, well, I mean, either way, there's actually a second one which is already burrowed. Either way, I mean, this is an attack here from True, which is ending this game. These Mutas aren't in high enough a number. True's, you know, Bly's other reinforcements aren't in high enough a number. True's reinforcements continue to come across the map to just stack up here and to keep on pushing in. And obviously, at that stage, you really are in some trouble. There you go, tries to land the kill on the Infestor, but the first Fungal comes down, the second Fungal too. And again, there's just too many Hydras here as he picks off Mutalisk after Mutalisk. GG. Game number 1 goes to True. Let's kick this off as we have Bly and True head-to-head here in this best-of-5 semi-final. We start down to the bottom right-hand side with our blue Zerg player from Psystorm Gaming. This is True. To the other left, our red Zerg is Bly. Da. 13-12 again from True. I wonder if he's just going to go full Bly. 13-12 every game until Bly can defend it. That's what Bly used to do. 13-12 every game. Sometimes he'd do it even if it didn't work. It's kind of funny how much this build relies on just control, decision making, and so on, and just experience more so than the straight up kind of more so than just straight up kind of build order advantage, to which a lot of people sort of seem to think. Of course, that said, I mean, the pull first from Bly will naturally give him a bit of a better chance to defend this because he gets a Queen faster, Lings faster. The one thing that is weird is that because Bly does this, his hatchery will be low on health when the first Lings arrive. So in a weird way, it does put a little bit more pressure on this hatchery, but of course you should have a lot more methods to alleviate that pressure with the ability to have Lings of your own faster, that first Queen coming up nice and quickly, and so on. True once again going to sticking gas with 3 of the workers, so he is still looking towards a Bane nest here, rather than pulling out and just going for Ling speed and into his own hatchery. There we go, pulls one drone away, throws the Baneling nest down, and I imagine these firstlings will continue to head across the map. They're going to be seen right away here by Bly's Overlord. True doesn't care if Bly sees them, he wants to get across the map ASAP. He wants to get there and start nibbling away at the hatchery, dealing some damage wherever possible. Spinecrawler starts instantly here from Bly. True doesn't know that this was not a hatchery first just yet. Sixlings up the ramp, and maybe he'll find that a little bit of a shame, as those Zerglings of his own are about to arrive any moment now. Pushing in towards the natural and getting ready to fight his way through this. But again, with Sixlings here from his opponent, Drew's in some trouble. I mean, his opponent's got a hatchery committed into already. He'll probably start his own hatch soon. He does have quite a few minerals, unless he's just waiting for Banelings. Just more than a couple just down south, out of reach of any Overlords, so no vision of this at all from Bly. Doesn't know that's necessarily the case just yet, although I guess the time of the hatchery tells them a lot about the fact that this probably is going to be some Banelings. This hatch would have been a lot sooner even if it was link speed, but with pulling out a gas for the Bane Nest, to kind of skip the Bane Nest. No, it's going to be what, 5 Banelings right here, 4 of them ready or at the moment. We do have the Spinecrawlers already set up towards the front. Coming in force around, Zerglings coming through. The Bane's going off. Actually uses all of them on that Spinecrawler, which means he doesn't have much else to kind of really push on through with right now. Sends a single Baneling up the ramp here. Queen will go down. That Bane doesn't really connect on much either. He'll go for a couple of drones on the natural, but even this is not looking good at all, and True is down by 6 workers. This 13-12 is going to make that 5 maybe. Wow, the Queen just about saving this drone. He has the sand on top of it. Amazing stuff. Okay, True is in a lot of trouble suddenly in game 2. His decision of 13-12 has been shut down completely, and, well, as he gets fully surrounded by slow Zerglings, he cannot be feeling good, because now he has to make units to defend a counter-attack, while Bly is already ahead by 6, and of course Bly should only really be looking at drone behind this as well. More Zerglings heading across the map right here. Bly maybe going to be in some trouble, as we do have those Lings about to arrive. 4 Banes about to finish up on the high ground. We will see a Kling coming up the ramp to see what's up. And more Zerglings continue to come on through as well, and a little bit of a surround, getting some damage done onto a Queen. More Lings pushing forwards, and this Queen has to pull away at the moment. Cannot really sit here and just sit around. It was going to be maybe saved. Nice dive around the other side. Oh, Bly was only just able to sneak around. I mean, it was a really good attempt to defend here by True, as Bly gets one more drone as well. I mean, Bly really knows True's already in trouble, I think, with how little damage he did, but the fact he's even getting more damage done himself, that just means that True is really in just this position. I mean, what do you do now? He's supply blocked fully on 28 over 28. I mean, this is... Is it fair to say it's impossible? I don't think we should ever call anything impossible in StarCraft, but it really is one of those positions that definitely isn't going to be easy to play out of. Two Queens coming in towards the front, and we are going to see those just setting up at the moment here. Roaches on the way. You see these couple of Queens working their way through the Overlord. Obviously at this point Bly's still just controlling this map. 15 Roaches on the way. I mean, he's just not going to let True get into any stage of this game that he wants to. By the time these Roaches arrive, the Roach run of True might just about be finished up, but there's going to be way too many units. This Overlord being killed means that True can't see it coming. And True right now is just trying to play catch up in the worker camp, but again, Bly knows the situation well. He knows that all he has to do is spam out the Roaches, and that's all he is doing right now. And he's going to get that set up and ready to go very, very soon. We're just going to push on in. We are going to see this Queen picked off right away. Natural Hatchery going to be in some trouble as well again. I mean, there's just nothing True can do. He's going to start making some Roaches, but there's so many more units coming across the map from Bly. He's going to have Queens with transfusions ready. He has a Spinecrawler as well. GG from True. And this game is wrapped up 1-1 tied here in this best of 5. Taking a gold And he is taking it off of a little bit of an earlier hatchery than his opponent, so it is coming down a bit sooner. A slightly lower supply based hatch. Let's see what happens here as we have to the top left hand side the red Zerg player from Team Expert. This is Bly. And we do have to the bottom right hand side the blue, bottom left hand side the blue Zerg player. Slicestorm Gaming's True, who will be behind on drones now because of this slightly earlier hatchery. Cutting drones to get that down faster. And let's see what each player will try and do with their opponent taking their own gold and just getting into that sort of a position. Spawning pool about halfway done. It's going to be seeing the few drones here of True going to be moving on along towards the natural, getting mining on the gold base. We'll see, Bly will just be a little bit slower on that and a little bit later down. In the end here, True does even up the work count, so I wonder if his plan is to have, like, because of the economy just comes to him soon. I don't even know. I mean, it can't make that much of a difference, right? Like, I mean, Bly's starting on his own gold base now. The work count's even, so it's interesting. I don't know if this really gives True much of an advantage at all in the end. 9 workers to the 7 actually on this. Actually, True is just going to start a spine crawler on this top side of his base, so he is going to get that going for himself here. By pushing up here with this spine crawler, obviously he's going to be able to push in towards the mineral line. A couple of drones might be in some trouble, but Bly's already making his own defensive spine crawler, so perhaps not so much that True can do as he goes into a Baneling nest. Meanwhile, a roach roaring out of Bly. Two very different approaches to this game. I mean, obviously, one of the big things is being able to hold this position out the back of your gold, because if you don't hold that position against roaches, etc., well, that that range damage is going to be able to kill off your mineral line, and if you have that killing off your mineral line, you're not going to be looking too great. Zerglings of True heading in towards the top. The spine crawler is looking for a position to burrow, but again, I mean, the spine of his opponent is up and it is in range. Does he just commit? Like, what's the plan? This spine crawler reaches everything he needs to. Couple of Banes on the way up to the front here as True is down on workers, by the way, so he's really committing to this here, but I mean, Bly with 8 roaches on the way, it's not like he's made a huge amount of runs himself, and he's blocked off this ramp, which means that I feel like True trying to get up, it's really not going to be looking all too great for him. He's going to kill off 2 queens, he's going to see the roaches, and True, is he not surely going to be in a little bit of trouble now? Well, he does have more links coming in, so surround will do a lot of damage. The fact he can get full surrounds is obviously amazing here, as we'll be seeing only 1 roach going down though, so far it's still not enough. A couple of drones will now start to be targeted, and that is the one thing that is definitely here from True, that kind of ability to jive around with the Zerglings, use that speed to your advantage and try and get as much done as possible with it. Six more drones about to pop up in the main base. That's True trying to drone up from this, but I'm a little bit worried if these roaches keep on gathering up and getting into the good numbers, which they are, honestly, they're already doing. I mean, look at this. There's 6 over here, 3 more here, and a Ravager. If he pushes with this right now, yeah, I know it's kind of scary, but he's already at that point where the full link surround has become less of an issue. Because he has already got a good, that good clump of roaches. So it's, I think, this point where Bly is already looking pretty great. Going into a lair and an evolution chamber as well. See where this goes. We do have some lings here setting up and gathering to the left side too, but maybe want to try and see what they can get up to as that spine crawler in the back. Just having a spine crawler fight, and True just trying to do whatever he can, but in the end, he's apparently going to be bringing his spine crawler back down to the south towards his own base. What's up, Shifty1212? Thank you so much for the 700 bits. As you are going to be seeing True coming forward, seeing he is going to go for some splash damage to kill a couple of drones. Unfortunately, because he's splashing from here, he doesn't really actually hit that many workers, so not too significant. And True still trailing just slightly. Again, Shifty, thank you so much for the 700 bits. The cheer 700 in the chat. Got some love in the chat, guys, for Shifty. Do appreciate it. Just going to be having that burrow upgrade starting up right now from Bly. Roach speed coming through on the roach rod. And just seeing the 4 drones being picked off once again. Another couple of Banes coming forwards, it seems, in the same position as before. I really feel as though Bly right now, he's going to take a third hatch, but I really feel like he might just be looking to just mass up on roaches soon. I mean, if the fact he's going to have +1 in roach speed so much sooner than true, I mean, that's really where the deficit of his opponent is going to be showing here in the near future, as we do see the roaches and a Ravager gathering up on the natural, and the Zerglings going to be backing away from True, realizing there's no opportunity for him to deal damage here. His own third hatch is a lot sooner, but he's so far behind elsewhere. Again, I mean, roach number is okay even for now, but it's the +1, it's the roach speed, it's those upgrades that are really going to give Bly the opportunity to perhaps come in and make some magic happen. A few Zerglings peel off to the side, going to take the watchtower. So going to hold that for a few moments as we do see the Lings and Roaches heading across towards the top. Going to try and move in towards the natural here very soon. Try and get some damage done. I mean, the thing is, though, again, True can't really be the aggressor, right? No roach speed, no +1 attack, and as Bly moves on the map, as soon as he sees this, he's just going to pull a few units away. He's actually going to see the Roaches now, too. You know, he could just come in and go for us around here. Anyways, he's going to deal with the first Zerglings very quickly, and he is going to pull his army back, realizing that these Roaches are committing. I mean, this just means he's going to get a really good trade-off. He's going to pick off a lot of these Roaches. It isn't going to cost him anything at all, basically. I mean, okay, he loses a few of his own, but in terms of cost efficiency, this was a great trade for Bly. And definitely the sort of trade you want to turn around and pick up on. Bly with Roaches and a Ravager coming down to the south. Going to try and see what they can do here in the next moment or two. Spire on the way up, about halfway done. Here we go, a few Lings around the right-hand side from True as well. Going to be trying to come up to the top and counter-attack in to do something, but I mean, as the Spire is not done yet, I mean, I think he's just in trouble. This third hatchery, at the very least, that's going to go down. There's no real hope of holding on to this, as we are just going to be seeing the hatchery just going to drop just like that. No real issue at all. I mean, that goes down. Even if you get the Spire on the way, now you're going to have taken so much damage, you know, even with the meter start coming up. I mean, we're going to be talking about True being on basically no workers, and as long as Bly is able to defend at home and not lose 30 workers himself, he should still have this one under control. Genie pushing forwards. I mean, Queen's taking some damage. More Roaches are going to come in from the other side of the gold base, and as this Mimic patch is mined out, Bly will just be able to reinforce in this direction. I wouldn't be surprised if Bly even just started building the Spore Crawlers here and pushing them across the map to keep his Roaches safe, and I think True very much so knows this game is done for. Let's go into this. See what comes up here in game number 4. Leading the series on match point, 1 map away from our finals. Our blue Zerg player to the top left-hand side. This is Bly. His opponent in the bottom right, the red Zerg from Psystorm Gaming. It's True. So, Bly against True. Game 4. Bly looking good in these games, honestly. Taking early advantages, pushing with them. I mean, this game, again, True tried something a little bit cheesy, a little bit aggressive with that Spine Crawler coming forwards in the attempt to kind of really be quite all in with the Ling Bane. But, really, I mean, Bly just had all the answers. The Queen's blocked off. His own spine in the mineral line. Bly was not full into anything in that game. He was 100% in control. He knew what he had to do. He knew what he wanted to do. And he really did just execute absolutely, exactly as he needed to as well to close that game out. So, good stuff there from Bly. As we get ourselves going, hopefully, into what I hope is going to be a great game number 4. I know we're just watching hatcheries building at the moment. Not really much else going on around the map. But, of course, I mean, there's not much else goes on. Yeah, I mean, there's still some little bits and pieces happening. You see the Queen on the way out. I mean, not really much difference, though, between the players, so not a lot to talk about. I mean, again, I mean, if Drew's been very aggressive so far, does now he just play more defensively? Does he just play more macro-focused? Or does True look at this and be like, huh, you know what, okay. Well, now in this situation, maybe I'll just play, you know, still my aggression, because I still feel like that's how I should play, but I need to be kind of picking it more carefully, because so far it really hasn't been working at all. Max Xavier in the chat saying, Wardy, I love watching Bly play. These games are so interesting. Yeah, honestly, Bly's games have been getting pretty intriguing lately. Bly's a really, for me, Bly's a really on and off player to, not, I wouldn't say support, but just to kind of enjoy watching, I would say. Because I feel as though Bly goes through these stages where he'll open up in every ZvZ, 13-12, multiple games in a row, you know? So, multiple games in a row, game after game, Bly can just do the same build. It's cheesy, it creates fast games, you know, it's, you know, the game feels won or lost in the first few minutes, and times like that, I don't always feel like I enjoy watching Bly. But when Bly mixes in a couple of games of his own that are cheesy, while also doing things a little bit different, macroing up now and then, that's when I really love watching Bly's games, because they definitely, you know, they definitely do stray from the standard, and they definitely do stray a little bit from that, as you're all going to be seeing the, couple of queens just going to be sitting in this wall off and trying to make sure that True can't get any units through here as the Ling's on the way up. Evolution Chambers about to finish. Roach Run as well. Looks like we're going straight into Roach play for these guys. I mean, that said, Bly is actually being cheeky this time, and this is what's been great. Bly hasn't really been overly aggressive or initiating aggression himself all series long. Now he shows up with all of these Zerglings, and now he actually has the choice of what he makes next, and it is 9 more drones, so he is going to start playing drone catch-up. 2 Banes morphing in from True, and honestly, the fact that Bly was able to be seen here by True coming across the map does give True that pre-warning of, hey, you should get Banes ready. You should be able to deal with this in the near future. There's Third Hatch in some trouble, though, and Banes will have to move along a little bit to get over here. One Baneling set and ready to go right now. One more Baneling is on the way, morphing in on the natural. This third hatchery's dead. No two ways you look about it. And Bly, realizing he can get a bit of a better fight until this hatchery dies, goes for a surround of some of those Zerglings as well. Now will back away off over to the left here. Now will move on away from this. So third hatch killed. Obviously he doesn't have a third hatch of his own, so this is more so even in the game than anything else. Remember, he has been behind on drone count until now. Just recently starting to tie this up. Takes a bit of a Bane shot there. Wasn't a massive one, but enough to turn the tides. Will deny this drone from becoming an hatchery right away. The extractor, though, will save it. Nicely done there. Well, Zergling's coming along towards the upper right side, and we are going to be seeing the lair on the way up in the main base. There is already a lair from Bly, though. He's already on the way of the Spire, so again, this time it looks as though he will build +1 missiles, unless this is just a fake so that True sees it and thinks he's upgrading. Starts the roach speed as well. A little bit questionable. I mean, I guess he's had the gas for it before now, so maybe he does cancel these and throw it into more Mutalisks. Either way, True at the moment, he's just going into his own lair. He doesn't even have an Evo for the +1, so even in the roach game, True is playing from a bit of a deficit at the moment. Another Zergling taking some hits. They're going to continue to be chased around. Spire going to have been about 75% of the way done. And Bly is looking pretty good at the moment. Creep going to start going forwards here. Zerglings are on the way towards the upper right-hand side, and we are going to be seeing this third hatchery of Bly. Might be in some trouble in a few moments as we see these roaches coming in. Going to go and give it a little bit of a cuddle right now. We do see the Lings going in for the full surround. Roaches going to continue to fight back, though, fight against this. However, unfortunately, there's not going to be enough of them. So Bly at the moment in a little bit of trouble. Again, more roaches out. Moving in the Ravagers to the side as well, and he actually will just cancel those because he does not want to spend that gas. And I wonder if that's something which True recognizes there. 8 meters on the way up. I mean, True actually has the gas for 11 meters right off the bat. And that could be kind of crazy. 11 meters, he would out-Mutalisk Bly from the get-go, although Bly does start a +1 flyer attack. If True goes straight into Flyer Carapace, then he could take the advantage in that Mutaflock. Carapace will be a better upgrade than attack upgrades. 2 Spine Crawls coming up on the natural expansion, as we do have this Overlord. That's going to be taken down. Roach is pushing to the right-hand side, and the Lings having to back away. Again, with the Mutilus on the way out from True, this game about to get very intriguing. He still has actually 600 gas at the bank. He's making a lot more meters. And as Bly arrives, there's not a lot of anti-air defense initially, of course, apart from Queens, because I guess True's obviously thinking about going meters of his own, right? So why would he build Spore Crawlers and so on? Obviously, eventually you might want to get those anyways to kind of help with, dealing with your meters potentially sometimes being out of position. Bly's going to find himself a fight where he does out-meter his opponent for a moment, but not for too long. Just one Mutilus going down, but he will pull a couple more True's meters out of the way, and he will get those kills as well. And now Bly feels as though he's maybe trying to go for a bit more. He gets one more Mutilus. Great control here from our blue Ukrainian Zerg player, and Bly is continuing to put himself into a better and better position. You see this Overlord taken down towards the upper left-hand side. All of these Mutilus still just gathering together now. In, picks off an Overlord, still have more Lings towards the bottom right. Third base and a fourth base on the way up from Bly. That's one of the issues we haven't really talked about for him. He's just been not on a third base at all, which means True has had extra gas income, which is where some of that extra gas has come from, of course. A lot of Lings on the way out from True, going to try and do a little bit more here once again. It's just True's Lings have been so annoying, and Bly really hasn't had anything to properly deal with that, and that's why this base got cancelled once. Roach is in the top right side. True doesn't find them. 20 to 16 Mutilus, so he holds that advantage. And now these units are in some trouble. Bly is going to dive a mineral line though. I mean, pickoffs like this are kind of huge for him, having his opponent's mutilus out of position, able to get a lot of workers, and especially delaying workers from mining gas because they're pulling away into the main to defend. Well, Bly will turn and fight. He's got the flyer attack upgrade, so that actually might help him out a little bit here, even if he has less Mutilus, but at the moment it doesn't look good. His mutant count is dropping so quickly, 10 to 19, 9 to 19. Bly just killed a ton of workers. Roaches are going to start moving through now as well, but some of them getting caught up on the spine crawlers at the front here. A couple of Queens are, maybe a decent target. I think he's just going to try for more drones though. Going into Hydrogen, he probably realizes that in terms of the Mutilus fight, he's not going to be able to keep up. So he just starts to go into Hydras instead. Going to look to defend with the Queens here for a moment or two. He still has 7 meters as well to help out just a little bit to support these Spore Crawlers. Only a 13 worker lead right now from Bly. The biggest issue is how do you mine from the third base in this sort of a scenario? Well, you kind of don't. That said, though, these Lings are still going huge, and they are still getting kills. So Bly is still picking up an advantage here. He needs to move away from the Mutilus, though, because they're not going to gain anything trying to fight there. He'll just go for 2 more drones, I guess, which I guess is at least something. At least he wasn't just trying to target down a hatchery or something which wasn't going to have any effect at all. 65 supply piece, and Hydraless Den finished now from Bly. He has the money to make a lot of Hydras here, as the Queens should be able to keep themselves safe with the ability to transfuse each other for the moment. And we will see True pushed away. Again, Bly has the money to spend to put himself into a good Hydra count to really push this back. And we are going to be seeing these drones under fire once again from the Mutalisks. Smuta's dealing some hits right now. Going to see the Queens continue to fight against those Mutas, continue to deal some damage. Back towards the third base, which again, this third hatchery has just not been mining all game long, really. It's really been an issue so far. Bly going to try and get back towards the third with some of these drones, hoping that maybe his Queens can help keep it alive. But of course, the Queens being over here on their own is a problem as well, because now this natural is a little bit bare and barren. Then again, it's only 11 Mutilus left over from True himself. He's got 9 more back at home, so the fact it's not all the meters means that the Spore Crawlers are not going to be, super easily broken through. Surprised Bly, he did build the Hydra Den, right? No, I've been talking about the Hydraless Den. He did build one, but he must have cancelled it or got picked off. In the end here, he's just going to continue into Roaches with a couple of Infestors on the way up with Burrow. More drones continue to fight this here. More of these getting picked up as time passes by. More Roaches of Bly counter-attacking too, so it's drones for drones across the map. 8 for 5. Meters still having to be left at home to defend, and that's obviously expensive. And it really starts to add up because those meters could be finding so much more value elsewhere. Triple Spore and Queens on the third base, and it looks as though Bly survived long enough here to get this third base up and running once again. So able to keep this alive as +1 flyer attack comes in from True. Realizing perhaps that he's going to be fighting a lot of roaches on the ground as Bly transitions away from his own Mutalisks. Flyer attacks will definitely help a lot more in that sort of scenario. It's only Muta versus Muta where the Carapace upgrade is really the more valuable. We've seen the Sport Core being cancelled here. This time he gets killed second time around. Muta's in the main, picking off some worker kills. Getting 2 workers so far, getting that extractor as well. And these Mutas are going to be pulling away out of the main base, but killing some overlords as they go. Still fighting more damage. As Bly's still keeping a worker lead. He really is waiting for these infestors and really hoping that these infestors are going to be able to do enough. Thank you very much, by the way, to Bobble SC2 who donated $3 saying go Bly. It was about 8 minutes ago, probably 10 minutes for you guys now on the stream. So thank you so much, Bobble SC2. Do appreciate the $3. AC Juicy with a $20 donation as well. AC Juicy coming in for a donation yesterday too, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you so much for continued love, guys. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. That's true. They rise with a hell of a lot of Zerglings while the infestors throw a huge fungal growth down to start this off. The Lings are going to go disappearing. Oh my god. The infestors here have just gone huge. There's an infestor with 28 kills. And those Mutalisks, well, this time all the Mutalisks, and now there's only 9 of them left. The Queens will go back towards the natural here. The Spore on the third base will be enough to hold on. Burrow will save some of these drones. Wow, those fungal growths from Bly just killed all of those Lings. Again, the infestors, big players there. 1 kill, 5 kill, 28 kill infestor. Oh my god, that infestor that just got the fungal that killed all of those Zerglings. What a play. Down to 7 Mutalisks. True will try and build up a few more, but if he sits in fungals like that and he eats damage like that, that's obviously not going to be pretty. So Bly continue to come in with more infestors and queens, and so far it's getting the job done, especially now as True doesn't have as much of a scary Mutaflock. This becomes so much more doable for Bly. Every single fight is going to be that much more engageable, and it's just going to be that much better for him. As you see, going to be a couple of drones going down as these roaches burrow around. Trying to use that tunneling claw still will pop up in the third base, and he will get some damage here as well. If only be cleaned out, it's still workers being pulled off the line, it's still damage being dealt, as Bly can somewhat afford these to be pulled away. Hydra's Den is just over 75% of the way done, so Bly getting that now too will give him a bit more of a mobile fighting force against those Mutas. Maybe feeling as though now that the Muta count has been kind of thinned out a little bit, maybe now he's going to be able to get enough Hydras up to actually be able to fight it. Maybe before he's just scared that as the Hydras came up, they just get picked off a few at a time. Oh, well, that might just be game ending, because the fungal growth is not going to stop coming down. I mean, we are going to be seeing these queens. They are going to try and hunt them down, and they will get pretty much all of these Mutalisks. True has just lost absolutely everything which he could rely on in this. He's going to have 6 Mutalisks as the production Mutas finish up, but that's not really enough to do anything here in this game number 4, and I think Bly really might be on his way through to these finals. What an absolutely incredible performance by him, as we are going to be seeing these Lings running into the right-hand side, going to try and go for some drones and the hatchery. I mean, okay, True, he's going to find himself a lot of damage with this. Infested Towns will come down to defend. I mean, Bly just doesn't really have a ground army to kind of push this sort of attack back, because he's been sending his roaches across the map. Here they are once again, Spine Crawler going down. And if True already didn't have units to kind of build up and to defend with, well, now he's not going to have much more of an economy to do that with either. That's actually a lot of roaches this time from Bly, but he did lose the third hatchery for it, remember, so while he does a lot of damage here, he loses one of his big mining bases. His new base has only just started, so it's not like it's already online for the drones to transfer over to. 16 workers killed, and again, a counter of Bly finds himself some real value here, as 17 minutes are about to have passed on by. And we are going to be seeing the Lings, the Mutas, and the Roaches. Having a little bit of a skirmish still, but the real story is back at home for Bly. He's got Infestors, he's got the Queens, he's got the Hydras, and they are the units which have already started to put him in a winning position this game, and they are going to be the units which continue here, winning him this game. As sure, the Roaches, they've put in their work, they've put in the effort, but it's these units that are going to finish things off. A third and a fourth coming down at the same time from Bly. Still only 36 drones. It's a low eco game, most definitely. It has been for a long time. And even beyond that, I mean, how many workers have been killed? Anyone want to take some guesses? I reckon it's been at least 50 workers, if not 60 or 70 for Bly, killed in this game. Well, there you go. 86. The 50 was a little bit of a low ball, wasn't it? And yet, True, he still just sticks around at the 30-ish count. Both these guys taking hits throughout this, and both these guys hurting. True is going to be keeping his meters off over to the left. More Infestors and Hydras gathering together. Lings around the right-hand side as well. Meters into the main. We do see a Spore Crawler able to fire away a little bit. He's coming back in towards the third base here, as we do see one Mutalisk taken down. Second Mutalisk being caught in a fungal growth as well. Again, I mean, True's okay, he's rebuilding the Muta camp, but remember that Bly has been improving his own army over time as well. There's more Infestors than ever before. The Hydralisk count is growing too. True is somewhat surprisingly still hanging on in this. I wonder if it's, I guess it's a bit of an issue if you have to use the Infestor energy to deter the Zerglings, right? Because if you have to use the Infestor energy for that, it does mean that, you know, you don't have as much energy to deal with the Mutas, which can then put you into a low spot of bother. Well, Roach is on the way up here from Bly, spending his money, still has a good chunk of gas. 3 more Infestors. He actually has the Infestor hit squad coming down. If he can drop a whole chunk of Infested Terrans on this base, obviously that could go pretty crazy. You do see Hydras and Roaches coming through to push the Zerglings back. Not much lost here this time around compared to before. What is dangerous is that this is still 6 Infestors, right? And with only, you know, with 6 Infestors here, we are going to be seeing them coming forwards and throwing down a whole bunch of Infested Terrans. So already Infested Terrans dropping. These Spines are going to finish. Spine going to get taken down pretty quick. And this hatchery, I think, probably does just die here, because these Mutas are not going to stand a chance defending this time around. The Infested Terrans on this upcoming base to the right-hand side as well. Suddenly True doesn't have a base to mine from. Well, okay, he actually has the bottom left-hand side about to come up, but I don't think that's what he was really hoping for here. This is a really nice play from Bly. Risky, sending this many Infestors across the map, but doable, because he also had more Infestors at home than he's ever had before. You know what is interesting, though? The Lurker Den from True. If True can get Lurkers up here, what does Bly have to fight against Lurkers? Absolutely naff all. Absolutely nothing, and that could be a game changer in this. Bly needs to be cautious. He needs to make sure he will have an answer to the Lurkers. Feelings to the left side, they get taken down. Bly haven't been on full base for a little while. Probably feeling pretty good at the moment. Bottom left side, this base, obviously the one that True can mine from now, but hasn't sent his drones over there just yet. Bly's army supply is really starting to take a monumental lead, as True's income has dropped off massively since losing the base. And I like it. Bly now making a whole bunch of Roaches. Those Roaches are going to go a massive way, because they will allow him to deal with Lurkers a little bit more. You know, it's actually going to be an answer to Lurkers rather than just hoping and praying. Infestors in the natural. I actually kind of wanted him to go in the main, maybe target down the Lurker Den, but of course I don't think he knows it is there. If he did, he'd probably be doing something more about it. But anyways, pushing across the map, the Hydra's intercepting the Mutas on their way back home. Already a bad start, as we do see Infested Terrans popping up in the natural, and True will GG out. Bly goes to the finals with a 3-1 victory. Very well.